Okay, so I guess we can start. So welcome everyone to our seventh strategic planning session. As I pointed out last time, I think with two or three more sessions of this, we can start. We could start writing and working on the manifesto that we created when this started. And for that, today we are going to discuss about three different areas that we've been also discussing in the Discord, in the forums, and with some hot specific topics that came out these last weeks. So we're going to discuss about governance. We're going to discuss about compliance and legal. And we're going to discuss about the platform and the platform improvements. So for governance, I invite you all, as we did last times with the different topics that we discussed, to start sharing your thoughts, your ideas about the current state of the governance system. And that includes not only the voting power distribution, the decision-making processes, the platform per se, the governance platform per se, but everything that comes to your mind right now and the things that you think should be improved or more automated, or what do you think will be good to have, nice to have in the short, mid, and the long term for this. For compliance and legal, these are also discussions that we've been having a couple of months ago when we started this working group, and are more about the possibility of having a structure, a real world structure for the DAO. What are the benefits of that? What are the cons of that? And we should start discussing if that if we need that right now, if it's something that is nice to have but not right now, if it's something that we must have someday, but it's important to have those discussions. And for the platform, as we always discuss about the platform, and you're going to hear me again preaching about the importance of the DAO taking ownership on the platform and not relying only on the foundation for this. But those discussions are also going to be around not only the things that we've been discussing in the metaverse comparative analysis and the different improvements and enhancements that we've been discussing about, but also the things that will come to your mind right now, thinking it in terms if the foundation doesn't exist. So the exercise that we're going to do with the platform section is imagining a scenario where the foundation doesn't exist and the platform improvements depend 100% on the DAO. And let's hope that exercise brings some fresh air, some new fresh ideas to start promoting projects from the DAO to improve the platform and not only relying on the foundation, because that's where the most important synergy between the foundation and the DAO has to come, and it's about improving the platform, onboarding new users, and expanding Decentraland. So again, thanks everyone for joining, and we will start with the governance section. And for that, I'm going to pass it to Lorelike.
Yeah, folks. Hi all. I have a short some thoughts on governance topic, and particularly about the VP voting power threshold. At now, total circulating voting power is 101 million VP, and the current voting power threshold are too low. So we are discussing possible solutions to open a working group and gather community input, community thoughts on what our threshold could be. For example, I'm thinking about creating a mechanism for dynamic threshold. It's something very complex, but maybe at least we can discuss it and think about it. So recently, like you can look at our current threshold and see like like 500k for Paul, name ban, and catalyst node is like too low. Recently, community members submitted a proposal to increase the threshold, but he didn't cover all. For example, he didn't cover hiring, link and variables, and proposal for bidding, tendering, flow, and grants. As you can see, we have like two grant tiers: lower tier grants and higher tier grants. For lower tier grants up to 20k, you need only 2 million VP to take a grant. And considering current VP circulating supply, it's very small amount. So I'm thinking it would be great if we can open a working group and like gather all the community thoughts, inputs, and rethink our VP threshold. So also I wanted, I will close presentation. Also about compliance here, which fans have talked. Recently, there were many community questions about should DAO be incorporated or not, like cons, advantages, and I also have a question: should DAO be incorporated? And for that, we conducted public research on the public information on the best way to incorporate DAOs, like as I said, cons, pros, and I think the outcome of it must be a pitch for legal consulting to invite professionals who can answer all these questions in right and professional way. And we prepared this legal pitch. Now we are in stage of we have conversation with fans, and I think we will find consensus and submit it very soon. I will give a word to my assistant Anna, and she will guide on this legal presentation. Can you please give fans of Octillions with hand result in audience?
Sure. And just wait a second before starting and deep diving into the legal concerns. After this, let's structure this in a different way. Let's go first then with the legal stuff. Let's discuss about that, and then we can get back to the governance issues and the thresholds and the automation and the governance processes. And if we don't have anything to discuss about that, we can move to the platform. But let's reshuffle the agenda and start by the legal stuff. So sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Yeah, just a sec. Do you see my screen?
Yep.
Great. Okay, so I think we can start. As we already mentioned, we made a research about legal entity for DAOs, and for today's agenda, we have 3 main points. The first one is why having a legal entity. The second one is SWOT analysis, and the third one is best ways to incorporate DAO. So why we decided to have a research? First of all, because we saw many community concerns and different opinions on this matter, and we realized that a lot of people are uneducated on this matter, so it's important for DAO community to have a deeper dive on this matter. So let's start with why having a legal entity. Having a legal entity that represents the DAO in the real world is valuable for a number of reasons. It provides limited liability to DAO participants for the actions of the DAO. Without a legal entity, participants may be individually held liable for anything the DAO does as a whole. and it gives legal protection. DAO members or participants can benefit from legal protection from liabilities and consequences stemming from the DAO's actions. Also, it gives asset protection. Assets controlled by the DAO could be better protected with a legal structure, especially in the event of disputes or dissolution. Also, it gives regulatory clarity. A legal entity offers a cleaner framework for regulatory and compliance matters. This can be especially valuable in areas like taxation. Also, it gives legitimacy and reputation. Being recognized as a legal entity can give the DAO a sense of legitimacy, potentially making it more appealing to external parties, businesses, or investors. Also, it gives access to traditional services. Many traditional financial and business services require a legal entity to engage with. This could include bank accounts, partnership, or other institution services. And also, it gives ownership of intellectual property and other assets like real estate in real world. So let's move on to SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis helps to identify the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of a specific subject. When considering a legal entity for a DAO, the SWOT analysis usually represents next points. For strengths, we have legal protection, as I mentioned before, because establishing a legal entity can provide protection to DAO members or token holders from potential legal consequences of DAO actions. Also, it gives a clear legal framework. It helps with navigating regulatory requirements, especially in jurisdictions that haven't yet recognized DAOs as legitimate entities. Also, as I mentioned before, other 3 points, they are asset protection, reputation legitimacy, and tax clarity. Also, it gives some weaknesses. The first one is centralization risks. The establishment of a legal entity can introduce central points of control or failure, potentially going against the principle of decentralization. The next one is bureaucracy and costs. Legal structures might bring added bureaucracy, increasing operation costs and slowing down decision-making. The next one is jurisdictional limitations. The DAO would be bound by the laws of the jurisdiction where it's registered, which can limit its global operations or be at odds with its decentralized nature. But it gives some opportunities. The first one is regulatory arbitrage. DAOs can choose to set up a legal entity in jurisdictions that are more favorable or offer benefits. Also, it increases in collaboration. Having a legal entity might attract more traditional businesses or entities to collaborate with the DAO. Adopting and scaling, it means legal structure might make it easier for the DAO to onboard new members, raise capital, or engage a larger scale projects. But it may occur some threats like regulatory changes because governments might change regulations or enforce stricter rules affecting how DAOs operate or their legal standings. Also, it might occur some legal changes. The DAO's actions or decisions might lead to legal disputes, potentially threatening its assets or reputation. Also, there could be some misalignments with DAO principles. The act of formalizing a DAO into a traditional legal structure might create rifts or disagreements within the DAO community. And the last one is vulnerability to external pressures. As a recognized legal entity, the DAO might be more vulnerable to pressure from external entities or governments, like being compelled to release user data or censor activities. It's important to remember that the actual strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats will be highly depend on the specific nature of DAO, its goals, the jurisdiction in which it considers establishing a legal entity, and the evolving landscape of blockchain and cryptocurrency regulation. Next, we have main ways to incorporate DAO. Incorporating a DAO means legally recognizing it with specific jurisdiction. The best solution will vary depending on the DAO's purpose, the preferred level of decentralization, the nature of its operations, and the laws of potential jurisdiction. Here's a general overview of several potential solutions. The first one is LLC, or limited liability company. For example, in the US, DAOs can structure themselves as LLC and distribute membership interests. This structure allows for legal protection while maintaining decentralized decision-making process. The next one is foundation. Some DAOs might choose to structure themselves as non-profit foundations, especially if their primary purpose is philanthropic or community-driven. The next one is a decentralized jurisdiction. Some projects are working to create digital or decentralized jurisdiction where DAOs can be incorporated and recognized legally. These are still in early stages, but represents an exciting frontier from DAO legal recognition. And the last one is multiple entities. A DAO could set up multiple entities in various jurisdictions depending on the regulatory advantages of each. Each legal entity would be responsible for a specific aspect of DAO's operations. And let's move on for some real-life examples. So first of all, we can see the chart which we created with best countries to incorporate DAO. So we have main criteria. And you can see that, for example, Marshall Islands DAO, LLC, and Panama Foundation tick all the boxes. So we wanted to pay our attention more to Panama Foundation, because the Panama Foundation has become some of the most popular legal wrappers in the incorporation of DAOs. One of the advantages of the Panama Foundation as a legal wrapper for DAOs is the fact that it provides a secure vehicle for the confidential asset protection, including intellectual property. The legal mechanism provided in the country ensure that the asset cannot be seized even by the government or the country. When you have digital assets, you do not have to worry about their protection. The foundation has you covered. The other example is the ENS Foundation. The ENS Foundation is a foundation company limited by guarantee incorporated in the Cayman Islands. Foundation companies are non-profits. The ENS Foundation has no shareholders and cannot pay out dividends to its directors or members. The ENS Foundation articles of incorporation give significant powers to ENS DAO. The DAO may vote to: first, appoint or remove a director, member, or supervisor. The second one is prohibit admitting any members in the future. And the last one is instruct the directors to wind up the foundation and specify what charity or other foundation should receive the foundation's assets. And the last example is Sandbox, and especially KYC as an example of legal procedure. KYC means know your customer. It describes the process of verifying the identity of new or already existed customer. The KYC process is performed to prevent illegal activities such as money laundering or fraud, in return protecting both company and client. So why is KYC at the Sandbox? The Sandbox has implemented KYC into its platform by the majority requests of its SandFam members for the following reasons. The first one is to prevent fraudulent activity during contents, events, and sales. The next one is prevent the use of multiple accounts during contents, events, and sales. The third one is to prevent the Sandbox being used by platform illegal activities such as money laundering. And the last one is to prove that users are a genuine living person. So all in all, we want to say that we are preparing a pitch proposal, which was already mentioned, for legal consulting on this matter, so that we can obtain proper legal advice on the benefits, downsides, and possibilities of becoming a legal entity. So please follow up and support our initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. I want to add some words because community members can think that we are proposing right now to incorporate the DAO. No, we are just proposing to conduct a legal consulting. Maybe. So we gathered public information and about the best way to incorporate the DAO, and prepared the pitch to receive a legal consultation to understand all the content process. For example, as I understand, there can be some interesting ways, like to create a sub-DAO with a legal entity for particular purpose, like example for investments, for grants management, and not touching the main DAO. But on all these questions, I would prefer for professionals to answer. By the way, I saw Gino send a link about MeetDAO, and like 1 year ago or maybe more, YAML submitted a proposal to incorporate the DAO, and also included this link about MeetDAO, but the proposal was rejected. I think the main reason why it was rejected because like community members did know all the content and all the content process, and now we have grants. I mean, bidding and tendering flow, and community is more mature to conduct this legal consulting, at least to know all these consequences. Thank you.
Thanks, Lorelai, and thanks, Hungry Soul, for this. And again, this was something that some people raised when we started the working group. This thing about the legal entity, the compliance, stuff like that. So we invite you, everyone, to start sharing your thoughts on this. I know some of you that are here in the audience have mentioned this a couple of times, so it will be interesting to have your insights on this. We have now a more complete, a bigger picture about this, about the benefits and the probably cons about incorporating the DAO. I'm personally still thinking that this is not something that we should do right now. I can't see this being a priority right now, but I do think it's something that we should take into account to think in the mid and the long term, and this working group is for that, for thinking in the mid and long term. So if anyone wants to share some thoughts, to comment on the presentation that we just visited, or discuss some ideas, please raise your hands, and I'll invite you as speakers. Okay, Chris wants to say something. I'm going to invite him.
Hey, good evening from this side of town. Can you hear me, Fede?
Loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I just got two questions. It's for one is for Fede, one is for Lord Like, but it's pretty much the same. So I guess Lord Like, you're kind of maybe saying that we should in the future maybe promote. I mean, we should maybe incorporate the DAO. Then Fede right now just said that he doesn't think this should be on the radar just right now. Maybe in the future, but not now. So I'm just kind of curious, what's Lord, from your perspective, why do you think we should be looking into incorporating the DAO now or soon? Is there something you're foreseeing, or you're just trying to stay ahead of the policy? I just want to kind of pick your brain a little bit and understand why are you bringing this up now? What is it that we should be aware of? And then Fede, for you, you're saying that you don't think this is something we should be looking into right now. So why are you saying this? I just want to kind of understand from both of you guys' perspective, what's going on. I know recently, especially in America, it's more and more, the laws are leaning towards incorporating DAOs now. So I'm just trying to get more knowledgeable on this. This is number one. And number two is, if we decide to incorporate a DAO, I know it's decentralized, which means that it belongs to nobody, but will somebody have to register? If so, I want to recommend HP We put the DAO in HP's name. That was just a joke. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. But yeah, just those two questions, guys. Just those two questions. Thank you.
You want to go first, Lorelai, or should I?
You can go, Jenna.
Okay, no, I'm not like totally against this. I do think that incorporating the DAO right now, it's going to like bring more limitations to us than benefits, because we're still struggling with a lot of issues regarding the treasury, regarding the financial planning, regarding the grants program, regarding the governance. We didn't define yet. We don't have like a full like a strong structure yet to get incorporated. What I think is we should have these discussions. That's why we brought it. That's why I agreed with Lorelai that this was important to bring here. But I think again that we're going to buy another problem for the DAO if we try to incorporate it right now. And well, it's interesting what you pointed out a couple of seconds ago. Like, who's going to be like the owner of this corporation or whatever, this entity? And that's another political discussion that I think we should avoid right now with the current state of things. But again, I think it's really important to think in the mid and the long term. And yeah, I know that there are some DAOs that are incorporating, and it will be interesting, as Gino mentioned, to start like now that we kicked off these discussions, to start like researching, doing more research, to start benchmarking, to start building a solid report, not only with high level pros and cons, but also with studying different cases. And since it's something that it's starting right now, it will also be difficult to measure the success of that incorporated DAOs. So that are not my fears, but like my limits, and why I think this should be more something that we need to discuss for the long term and not for now. But yeah, that's pretty much all.
And all right, and I agree with you. I'm going to say something on behalf of Tobik. Is Tobik here? Okay, good. He's not here, so I don't know if I can say it. But one day we had a conversation and he brought something up. And he was just saying that right now, I guess a lot of responsibility maybe falls on like the DAO committee. For example, if something ever happens, maybe the DAO committee will be responsible, etc. I'm not sure, but I think maybe if this DAO does get incorporated, that kind of takes responsibility off of you guys, off of, the DAO committee and other people. So that way, everybody is safe. I'm not saying anything is bad. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying maybe we do need to have these talks like what you're doing now, Fede. And I thank you for allowing us as a community to have these talks. Just maybe that way it can be safer for a lot of people, right? Because I know somebody has to take responsibility for what's going on. So that's why I'm just interested in this topic. I think it's a really, really interesting topic. But well, yeah,
that's actually a good start, Chris. Maybe we should start like focusing more on the vulnerabilities and the stuff that could happen to the DAO if something happens, and then to start thinking about which will be the best way to avoid that problems. But well, thanks a lot again for answering. Would you like to?
Approach. Thank you.
Would you like to go, Lorelai?
Yeah. So my point is like not to incorporate DAO now, but to think about to take a legal consulting to understand all the consequences, because I heard that when the DAO is not incorporated, participants liability is unlimited or something like this. And also, if I'm not mistaken, even Shoni told something about like for convenient grant management, it would be like better for DAO to have like legal entity for grants, like because like there is some like tax issues when the DAO has not legal entity. So my main point is just like to invite professionals which can give guidelines of like our current structure. Maybe it can give guidelines on what to do and what not to do, and like just consulting, not incorporate right now. So that's my point, because like I don't know, I'm not sure it's the right way right now, but for us to be sure, we must have like some kind of knowledge, yeah, and the best way to get it is to invite like professionals.
Well, that's perfect. I think again, I'm totally aligned with that. We should not about like hiring someone, but or maybe yes. What I'm saying is that it's really important to have these discussions about the concrete vulnerabilities that the DAO has right now, and the way to avoid problems and stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting that incorporating the DAO might not be the solution, but might be the solution. So let's first focus on the problem, the liabilities, the difficulties that the DAO could affront, and start the discussions from there. So thanks, Lorelai, again for bringing this, and again invite you all to take part in these discussions, to share your thoughts, to comment, and if you want to, please raise your hands, and I'll invite you as speakers.
Hey folks, how are you doing?
Hey, Gino.
Yeah, doing good. So, I mean, what I was saying in the chat is like the DAO does not have any for-profit activities, and it doesn't really have like contractors or employees besides committee members who are not like really contractors or employees. So that reduces the surface area of any legal issue that the community might have as voters and token holders. And especially thinking about like Decentraland as a wider project, I would say that a potential issue could be on the ICO participants or something like on the really early days of the project, not with DAO voters. Having said that, I think that having some kind of legal consultancy or maybe some recommendations, it's okay, and it won't take a lot of time of the community, besides maybe some interviews and clarifying things to the people who is responsible for that. But I don't see, I mean, as we were saying, I don't see this as a big issue right now in terms of priority. Yeah, districts. Yeah, ICO districts. There are a couple of things that are definitely more, I don't know if critical is a way, but that resemble more to some kind of, I don't know, security company or something like that.
Thanks a lot, Jinda. Yeah, I agree with a lot of that you just mentioned, mainly about like not seeing right now the concrete problems, but I think it might be worth to explore that, to have some consulting and to investigate more, to like do some benchmarking with the different DAOs that have been incorporated. And yeah, so thanks a lot for your input. Anybody else that wants to join this chat and to share some thoughts? Okay. If there's anything else to discuss regarding legal and compliance and incorporating the DAO, maybe we can jump into the governance stuff again. And well, thanks that we have Gino here. But the thing is, again, we have the governance current system with a lot of automated things in the governance platform. We have decision-making processes, collective decision-making processes. We have a voting system. We have a voting power distribution. All this stuff makes the whole governance system. So what we wanted to bring here again and put on the table is to let the community share live here now. If you think that there are or if there's a perspective of how to improve, how to enhance the governance system as a whole. Again, we can touch base on BP, we can touch base on the governance platform, we can touch base on the decision-making processes such as the working groups. But the main idea here is to put again on the table and to open discussions about the whole governance system. So again, I invite you all to share your thoughts on this. Personally, I think that we are in good shape with the governance system as it is. Like the automated part, there are still a lot of concerns and things to address around BP distribution, and the votings, but I feel like right now the decision-making process and the governance platform are improving and working well. So it will be great. It will be nice to have your feedback and to start building from that. Any comments?
Can I say something?
Yep, go ahead.
So I'm thinking about maybe we as DAO should have a plan for automation, because when DAO committee was created in this original file, it was a temporary solution, and maybe we should have a plan for some kind of automation when there will be more automation. I mean, and it's one thought. And other thought, I'm thinking about the snapshot. Is such laggy, and maybe we can fork it or make our own snapshot. It's just thoughts. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Just sharing my thoughts. Thank you.
Oh, thanks a lot. And those are really important things that you mentioned. Well, right now Snapchat is not working well, but I think we've discussed this a couple of times. It's the best thing that we have right now in the Web3 crypto ecosystem. So I don't know if building something in-house, the DAO developing something to vote will be a good idea. It's going to take a lot of time and resources. But the thing about automation, it's really interesting. So I would like the community, well, HP is saying something in the chat. I invite you all to read that. But if the rest of the community members here wants to say something about it, about automation and the governance processes, please raise your hands.
Also, I want to add, if I'm not mistaken, automation has some kind of freeze because how it is called? Oh, Tornado, it was hacked because of on-chain proposals, because there was a malware included in the proposal itself. So but at least maybe we can have a plan. Start with the HP said. Maybe with employees and something more simpler, and then we can go to more complex decisions. Just thought.
Agree. Yeah, Gino, go.
No, that I think that there is room for automation, as HP was saying, especially regarding some low risk transactions that could be enacted automatically after the proposal got passed. But to be honest, based on the method of working and the structure that the DAO has currently, I would say that automating, like being fully automated, like on-chain governance and actions, at this point, it's riskier. I mean, the balance between risk and efficiency, I would say, it's way riskier than helpful for the DAO. So based on the treasury that we have and the knowledge that we have regarding the treasury and security regarding the treasury, I would say that our surface area is pretty big regarding the attacks. Yeah, I know that we have fully automated governance on Aragon, but creating proposals and voting there is virtually impossible. So it's not a big risk unless someone coordinates like a real 51% attack or something like that. So I don't know. At least that's my understanding.
Thanks a lot, Gino. Anyone else? We still have 15 minutes to close this meeting. The next topic is going to be platform. I think if we don't have enough time to discuss about platform this time, we're going to dedicate a full session for that, as we did with the metaverse comparative analysis. But again, if you want to still discuss about governance, automation, governance processes, decision making, this is the time. And if not, in 10 seconds, we're moving to the platform thing. Five, 6. And that's all. We're moving to the platform issue. Not the issue, the topic. So again, the exercise that I wanted to do today, again, I don't know if we have enough time to do it. Maybe we can do it in an asynchronous way, like we did with the mural board when we started these meetings, is to think, to imagine a scenario where the foundation doesn't exist and where the DAO is the full owner on the platform and has to do the concrete improvements for enhancing the performance, for bringing more tools for builders, for creating more and better experiences and interoperability with the avatars, for adding more features such as, I don't know, webcams, recording, voice chat, screen sharing, YouTube embedding, improving the UI, the UX within the platform, the navigation. And again, that's why we brought this here again. What we want to do is to start, and you're going to hear me preaching again about this, to start taking ownership on the platform as a DAO, and not to rely only on the foundation, because I already said this a couple of times. I believe they're doing a great job. We've seen that there has been a really improvement the last couple of months on the shipping and the ways that the foundation communicates. But still, the foundation, maybe someday it's going to cease to exist and the DAO will still exist, and we have to take ownership of the platform. So I invite you all to share your thoughts on this, to start listing what you think will be good improvements for the platform right now as it is. I touched some points that can be improved, but there are a lot of stuff that can be done and funded by the DAO. And the bidding and tendering procedure, that it's getting more use right now. People is getting more used to implement this process. It's like the best tool that we have as an organization to start promoting and building in the platform to improve the whole ecosystem. So sorry for the long talk, but again, I invite you all to share your thoughts on this, and probably going to follow these conversations, to follow up these conversations with a mural board or something like that, to gather your insights on this, and to put together a summary on and some ideas about how should we tackle this ownership. Anyone?
To start talking about ownership, we first need to discuss the question or the topic of context sharing, right? At the moment, the Decentraland Foundation is the most skilled team of people working on the reference client and the protocol and the all the product and operational aspect of the consumable parts of the Decentraland, let's say. And they are the ones who has a lot of context. But the reality is that even though the project is open source and the code is open source, the planning mechanisms, the roadmap definitions, and all of that are not that public, and that's totally fine. I think it's part of being a traditional organization. But first, before being effective collaborators, like DAO members or DAO projects being effective collaborators of the Decentraland ecosystem, we need to build the mechanisms to first get more context, maybe have a top-down approach, even though maybe it's not the most decentralized way of doing it, but having a top-down approach from the foundation, hey, those are the projects that we believe are important, but we're not going to be able to tackle in the next 6 months. And then we could maybe create tender projects for those projects and see someone in the community or outside the community, like a professional team, wants to tackle and handle those things. I believe that the VR client, the VR client thing, was a good example of things that worked and things that didn't work. We know that the Sean's thing lacked a lot of context regarding the code and the SDK and how the client worked and everything, even though they had meetings and they had some consultancy from the foundation side that wasn't really ready yet. So it was one of the reasons the project didn't really succeed. So first, before talking about actual projects, we need to talk about how to get context, how to get information, and how to make the foundation code more understandable regarding the being really open source. And then we can talk about projects, real projects.
Well, that's I really love that approach. It kind of also forces us to build a better relationship with the foundation, to create more instances. And it's really interesting, but because what I pointed in the chat, there probably are hundreds of developments, hundreds of features that the foundation cannot work right now because of some workforce limitations or whatever. And maybe if we find a way to take that and decide as a community which one of those developments are important for us, maybe we can promote that and use that to create tender proposals. So I really like what you point out, Gino. It's interesting because again, I really like it because again, it forces us to create more instances, to exchange information with the foundation, and it also gives us the tools and not a small but a little ownership on what's happening in the platform. So thanks for bringing that. Really, I would really like to go further on this and discuss different ways to do this. So thanks. Anyone else that wants to comment on this?
I want to say that, in my opinion, we need like several moments a set. So we need mobile version, and we need to be able to log in with Web2 services. I don't know if it's on Foundation roadmap or we should like move it more faster. So I mean, like to log in with like Facebook, Twitter, like I think very important feature. We already discussed it in the presentation. So as well as mobile versions. So some of our competitors already have it, and I think it's very vital for us to have it in near future. Thanks.
Lorelike. Sorry. Thanks, Lorelike. Okay, still 5 minutes to close this meeting. We still have time to debate some ideas around the platform development. Really liked what Gino pointed out. Maybe it will be worth to explore different ways to exchange information with the foundation and to start taking those things that the foundation is not working on right now, and maybe as a community can build our own prioritization on that and start creating pitch proposals or tenders for that. Well, again, invite you all to comment on this, or if you have other ideas of how should we improve the platform, go ahead. Anyone? Okay. If not, I think we can start giving closure to this meeting. It was a really productive one, a really interesting one. So just for recap, we touched base on governance stuff, mostly talking about automation. We touched base on the legal stuff and compliance stuff, mainly focused on the possibility and exploring different options about the possibility of incorporating the DAO, its pros and cons. And finally, we've discussed a little. We didn't have enough time to fully dedicate to have a concrete talk about the platform. But these last 15 minutes, we discussed about the DAO taking more ownership on the platform and the different ways that can be done. The main thing that the thing that Gino raised a couple of minutes ago was about creating more synergy with the foundation and trying to take the things that the foundation it's not doing right now or it's not prioritizing right now, and maybe those are things that the community wants to prioritize and that we can promote with the bidding and tendering procedure or with other procedures that we have here in the DAO. So that was just a recap. I want to remind you all that this meeting is being recorded, so we're going to share it. I'm probably uploading it to YouTube, if not today, in a couple of days. And yeah, we'll keep these discussions in the Discord dedicated channel. Probably going to share a mural board or another way for you to start dropping some ideas about the platform development. But that will be pretty much all. So wanted to thank you everyone for joining. Thanks Lorelike for participating, for bringing fresh perspectives on different topics. Thanks Fraxilians for the support always, recording and moderating and everything. And thanks Gino for your valuable insights this last meeting. Okay.
Thanks to you also, friends, and all folks.
Thanks a lot, Lorelike. So, okay, that will be all. Bye-bye. Have a nice week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a great week. Bye.